Okay, good. So hello everyone. Quick update from the runtime deployments working group. The last update was from, I think, August 12th. So what has changed? We have got two new approvers, Milena Encheva from SAP Lab Sofia and Hamideh from Oliver's team in Waldorf. So both from Oliver's team. So they are now approvers and yeah, also taking care of cutting regular CF deployment releases and making other changes. Um, Carsten is no longer active in the working group because he left to another company. And so far, Dave from Broadcom is not aware of any successor. So yeah, still waiting if we get a replacement for Carsten. Um, yeah, so that's the update of the group. Um, Then we have, since the last talk meeting, we have cut 23 CF deployment releases. I quickly went through the list of releases, but well, there was not too much that is noteworthy. So yeah, release process is going on as always. Update on cost savings. So we tried a few weeks ago the GCP spot VMs, which are very cheap, but can yeah are only for short-lived workloads. And it turned out that those are not really usable for our use case because after about an hour they go into stop mode, and our validation takes much longer than that, and that was not really uh, usable. Um, uh, so cost saving, we are stuck at around 4.5K per month. Um, I don't know why exactly. There are no numbers from before September. Someone changed the billing account or something. Um, yeah, okay. That's about cost saving. Um, then we have migrated to SHA-256 signatures for the Bosch artifacts. So here you can see the new SHA format. Um, Oliver's team did this mainly. There were a few other Conquest tasks to update, but yeah, so far haven't heard any problems, so that migration went very, very smoothly. What else have we done? We have fixed the missing extended key usages for all our certificates. That came up because a more recent Python client complained that some certificates did not have correct extended key usage. So I think after went through all the certificates here and correctly assigned the usage. So that is either client authentication or server authentication, or sometimes both. Yeah, but it's also merged and done. I haven't heard any feedback. And now,
That's a
yeah,
good
the
thing,
most,
right?
yes,
No feedback. No feedback is a good thing.
this is a good thing. Yes, yes, this is certainly a good thing. So, yeah, I guess it hit us first. It hit us SAP first because we were updating to a very recent Python version, and then it showed up. Yeah. Okay. Then, yeah, maybe the most interesting story is the switch from Jammy to Noble. So only a few days ago, we have finally gotten a new AWS Noble stem cell that fixed this unstable issue. And now we can proceed to switch over to Noble. So as of now, if I'm not wrong, two validation environments, one on GCP, one on AWS, run on Noble. and there are no further problems. So we can then soon switch over the default to Noble and provide a fallback ops file to switch to Jammy, and only one pipeline will then run on Jammy for detecting regressions or for checking backwards compatibility.
So when will the compiled releases switch over to Noble, or did they already?
Also soon, for that we have to switch over this fantastic update releases pipeline, which is a bit. Last time it was quite cumbersome because then everything is recompiled at once, and you have to kick concourse a few times until everything is green again. If we don't find any further issues, then I think within the next few weeks the switch over and the compiled releases will then be available for Noble. Yeah. For FS5 stack, there are no news. There is a beta release available, but no GA release, so no update on FS5. Okay, that's all from my side. Any questions, comments, wishes?
The IPv6 validation is also running.
Yes, it has been running for quite some time, but as I think we would need a new version of Bosch bootloader with the latest Bosch deployment, with the Bosch director that supports everything, and then we could maybe get this pipeline green. But as there are significant delays, it was decided to temporarily shut down this pipeline, also delete the bubble environment, and try again later.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
reverted something in bootloader, right? For that.
We reverted something, yes, and the Bosch deployment version is not the latest, right?
The director pipeline is blocked for a long time already.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so acceptance tests are ready. They have a lot of IPv6 egress tests, but I think that was already in summer. But yeah, the whole validation pipeline, it's doesn't make sense to run this at the moment.
Yeah, I wanted to close actually that meta issue tracking for IPv6. I think this is the only open issue at the moment. Are there any other questions? No. Okay, then thank you, Jochen, for the update.
Yep, you're welcome.
I tried to catch up all the things you mentioned in the meeting notes. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, 2 new approvers, no replacement for Carson so far. Spot VN certificates, no. Yes, that's it.
Okay, then we can proceed with the next agenda point, looking into our dashboard. Regarding PRs, the inactive users, we have to wait another week. So it's only 1 week. The PRs from last week. We have a new improvement suggestion for our contribution script. I didn't have time to look now. Has someone looked into this? I don't see any comments. It looks like it was counting a little bit wrongly the contributions. So here are some suggestions how to improve the script. But yeah, we can discuss next time once I will try to look, and if someone can look also, so that we can provide feedback. Regarding RFCs, so we have one. We had this one, I think, last week. The final comment period has been started.
Yeah, there was a comment. We discussed that maybe this is also, if we're doing a breaking change anyway, it might be a good time to revisit or like review some of the things that we're including that we might want to take out.
I think this Takipi has been taken out, Ramon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Takipi is already out.
Okay, it's already out.
There are some old debugger thing that was abandoned. It's in the documentation. We removed a few things that were not. And today I also got a request from SAP that we need to some sub-machine JDKs that were already end of life quite some time already, and they are making PRs for that now to remove that.
Yeah.
And change it to the latest ones. So there is some activity finally.
That's good. But like, would it be good to capture the scope of what we want to release in here? Or do we want to like
Yeah,
if there's
so
other things that
I
need to be
don't use the
removed?
Java build pack at all, and I have no idea what.
No, I know. So we need to find people that do and do care.
Yes.
But so I'm trying to find these people. I just found a few within Rabobank who are interested in this, and they have opinions. Apparently, at Rabobank, they throw out a lot of stuff. They use a way smaller Java build pack, but probably
So the
that's
default
not.
the default things like the monitor, like the new relic and the app dynamic
Mhm.
stuff, yeah, that just needs to be in there because
Yeah,
people are
sure.
probably.
Like so, Rabobank will even use less than what we. But I mean, still, like there's some discussion to be had. Like, what do we want to actually keep in here?
Yeah, the build pack is huge. And
Yeah.
if you make an offline build pack.
I don't. Maybe this could be something for the noble based, because this should be like a drop-in replacement. At least we want to be like a drop-in replacement, and we
I
have.
see.
If we remove too much, then I don't know.
Adoption is gonna be a problem.
Yeah,
And this time there is no choice, right?
yeah.
People have to
Yeah.
adapt.
Yeah, they have to adopt. Yeah, so that's also an opportunity, right? Like this is, we could also see it like, they have to adopt anyway. Might as well get rid of some stuff.
Yeah, so for me, if we can find people in the Java that are using the Java build pack, and then from several companies that are heavily using Java, I would take their opinions.
Mhm.
But how can we get those people to respond? Because I put a few things in the Java in the build packs Slack channel. Not a lot of response, so I don't know.
So is there any Java usage within SAP?
Yes,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they even have their own JDK.
Yes. So there must be opinions about this stuff then, right?
True. But yeah, then we also have only SAP and the Rabobank who wants like almost
Yeah.
everything cleaned up.
It's
So
also
we need
difficult
to.
because if I have an application and I use certain frameworks, etc., then I say this is what I need and everything else is not needed. That doesn't mean that other people don't need the other
Mhm.
frameworks, right? So removing is a bit tricky. So maybe it's a
Yes,
good
true,
approach,
but
to keep it let now like it is,
I
getting
mean
rid
the
of.
build pack was created like it was the first build pack ever
Mhm.
created. Uh, and it had a lot of things that supported which we should not support at all. For at least like people were using that you could just that it will always use the latest version that was available in the repo. But so the versions were never pinned,
Pins, yeah.
which is
So that
what we currently do have. What I made because we have that for all our build packs. And some weird overriding stuff that you could just override whenever you want to do things. Yeah, I removed all these kind of things already.
Yeah, so it's what we're basically looking at. Like, is there some sort of policy that we have around like we do not want to ship things that are end of life, right? Or maybe have inactive that are totally dead on GitHub, right? Like those types of things. Some like basic sanity checking.
That makes perfect sense for me.
Yeah.
Like that's just from a like, yeah. I don't know if it's security, but like that there must be guidelines that we can give there, right?
Yeah. I think it's a separate story we need to discuss about.
Yeah, it's separate as in
Because
you
I
want
had also something which is used in Diego and many other also dependency. I forgot the name, but it was brought up to me last week, and because it's in Diego mostly.
Ehret?
Yes, yeah, that one.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of a fake dependency because that was written internally. So it just happens to not be in a Cloud Foundry managed repo.
Okay, but it's not maintained anymore. And
Let's not talk about this topic now because
yes, yeah,
you will not stop.
Yeah. So can we include Ehret in the Java build pack, please?
E3.
Ehret, like daemon, IFRIT or whatever.
okay.
You want that within the Java build pack, or you want the different build pack? You're muted.
I think
No, I was joking.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we started the final comment period here. I think we discussed. We discussed this. It's better to continue as it is and try to clean up more and analyze these dependencies for noble-based build pack.
Do we do that before cutting the release?
What you mean?
The discussion about what to remove.
So there is nothing for noble at the moment.
You want to put it? Oh, sorry, you want to make that a noble thing. Okay.
So I did already check for so nothing that's currently in this has a really AOL end of life date. So there are some in the manifest. You can see what is going to be end of life. Because that's what it's in the manifest YAML supports for Golib build pack. So that's nice. So you can actually see which date it will be end of life, and you can actually remove it, and you can use the CI to actually adhere to these things and just remove it once it's end of life. So these are good things. I think we will, for the new release, we cut the new release. I think we will include Java 25, so that a lot of people will cut over because they will be made happy.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. Makes sense.
We have 2 weeks mentioned. So usually we have 1 week for final comment period. We can wait also 2 weeks. Yeah, okay, we can. Okay, I will put something then what we discussed about. And the other RFC which is in progress is CF on kind. So here I was checking all the discussions are resolved already. So the RFC has been updated with suggestions. Question is, should we wait more another week for feedback or start the final comment period here?
I think you're fine to start the final comment period, but that's my opinion.
Okay, I don't hear anything against, so we can start. I'll just copy Greg's comment and change 1 week. Yeah. Okay.
Last week, Ruben was saying I needed to copy your comment, so we're seeing the comment evolve over time now.
So how you how mistakes are propagating themselves?
Yeah, we went rogue last week and just started implementing our own policies. It was great.
Okay, then we can talk about the new RFCs. So we have the dynamics disks supporting Bosch. Maria, most probably you are joined for that one.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, so basically, this RFC adds a new API to Bosch to manage disks, basically to create, attach, detach, and delete disk to VM. And this API can be used by orchestrators to provide disks for application containers. And yeah, we think it would be valuable for like everyone. That's why we would like to keep it in Bosch. And also because Bosch is like a central point that manages IS resources. It can provide nice things like locking VM, making sure no parallel operations are happening to that VM. So it would be nice to have it in Bosch for these reasons. And we do need this API to be like dynamic, because current Bosch model is static based on manifest and declarative. And this one, I'm sorry. Basically, the application containers move around between VMs from one VM to another VM, and orchestrators are aware of that and like keeping track where it needs to be. So they need those disks to be attached and detached on demand dynamically. So that's why, yeah, we propose this as an API change to Bosch. And it will have a scope that will only allow to do these operations. Yeah. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions, concerns.
Wow, a lot of discussions in the PR. Ruben, you've been active.
Yeah, I have some concerns. I raised them on the PR. Yeah, I think it's like fundamentally breaking, but the everything is a Bosch deploy model, and that's quite yeah, I don't know, a big breaking change to how Bosch works. And then there's no open source consumer of this functionality, which I don't know, that I think is a big problem, right? We're basically introducing a lot of complexity in the Bosch director for something that has no direct value to the community. And that I think is a big problem.
Yeah, I added in RFC like potential use case how this can be used in Kubernetes container storage interface. Like we do use this, like we plan to use it for commercial use case. But
I understand, but
yeah.
like there's nothing like that in the Cloud Foundry community or like
Yeah.
Cloud Foundry organization currently. No consumer within the CFF basically, right? So and the CFF
Yes.
would be, I mean, the maintainers within that foundation would be burdened with the maintenance. I mean, at least the reviews and stuff, right? Like it's nothing is cheap or is free, right? Like there will be a cost paid by the other community members.
Yeah, but we think like it would still be beneficial. Like I'm a long time open source contributor. As you know, like I contributed to Bosch and like other Cloud Foundry projects, and we do fight like internally for to keep these projects open source, and yeah, we don't want to have like another reasons to fork Bosch. We would really love to keep that in Bosch. We think it would be beneficial to keep it in upstream, and it would be beneficial for everyone. And like as engineers, we do fight for keeping like open source and everything in open source.
Yeah,
I totally understand that one, and but I think in my last or second last comment, I think there's basically two things being put together in this PR, right? Like, so there's the dynamic disk lifecycle management, right? Like moving around disks and arbitrary disks that are not I mean, they are created and managed by Bosch, but they are basically named, and you can move them around from one instance to another. I think that's basically the core functionality that you need. And then there's the out-of-band runtime API thing where and that I think is the big breaking thing, right? Like that's basically breaking the whole Bosch deployment model. The other thing I'm not that against, I could see that be useful in other cases, right? Being able through the manifest to move things around. I could see that work. And then I know from previous experience that you will still have a problem because your deployment manifest is managed somewhere else. So I can see why you want the merging stuff to be there, but I mean, maybe that could be done through a custom config, right? We have the configs API for a reason, for arbitrary configs. This could be implemented through a config in there. I think that's where it would still stay useful to the community, but like the I don't know, the moving away from the everything is a Bosch deploy model, I think is that I'm not so positive about.
So something I'm curious about, as someone who hasn't been deeply involved in maintaining the Bosch roadmap, what's the balance between or in Bosch's roadmap for directly supporting Cloud Foundry Foundation stuff versus treating it as a general purpose deploy tool that can be used for projects outside of the CFF?
Don't know. In general, we try to stay close to what's useful within the CFF. But I mean, like there have been cases where people wanted to use other stem cells, like other OSs, and we have accepted those, but then we have also removed them again when they became unmaintained. Same for CPIs. I mean, CPIs are more external, right? So we really don't have to adopt them. People can just put them somewhere else.
Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking about it more as like an ecosystem play, like back in the days when Blue Mix existed and Bosch deployed stuff, like they had a bunch of IBM stuff as part of their Cloud Foundry ecosystem. And that stuff was all at some point deployed with Bosch and wasn't necessarily Cloud Foundry stuff, but that was also a different era.
Yeah, and I think people who are using open source Cloud Foundry typically deploy a lot of other things around it with Bosch, but that all uses the same, everything is a Bosch deploy model, right? This is basically a different, I don't know, dynamic deployment thing.
I have not read anything. I didn't look at. I'm currently looking at Add Dynamic Disk Supports PR and Bosch. That's probably related to this. But what is actually like? What is the? It's a really big PR.
That's the point, right? Like this is quite a complex feature.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a complex feature. It's a big PR, yes, but it introduces just like 4 endpoints. And if you look at the jobs, it's just 3 new jobs. And everything else is like moving around this. Like we introduced VMlock, which is in general a good idea. So there was like lots of things wrapped around VMlock. And then we fixed the issues with workers and queues, because right now we only have normal and urgent queue, and we introduced new queue, and before Bosch did not like properly support another queues, like it was only like working for these 2 queues. But basically it's new API endpoints, so they're like free for controllers and free jobs. And if you look at the job is very small. It only like calls out to CPI and updates the database. But I'm sorry, I just wanted to add, like, this feature doesn't like change anything. Like it's not a breaking change because it only adds new API endpoints.
Yeah, the only thing I quickly check is like the cloud check helper. It's weird. Okay, it's falling back, but with VMlock ID, with VMlock, don't really try what we're trying to achieve there, but
But this is talking about the implementation. We're talking about
Yes.
the architecture.
yeah,
That's
okay,
what this
true.
is
But I'm
about.
trying to figure out in my mind, Flo, what is, because you have a lot of issues with, because it's breaking the whole, it's breaking out the Bosch ecosystem. And she wants to really have it in there. Yeah, what will the added complexity will be for us when we are going to continue to maintain our Bosch code? That is basically what I'm trying to.
I believe there's no
we
like.
have done
Oh, sorry.
strange stuff in the past. So
Yeah, I believe for like current code, it doesn't add complexity. It adds new opt-in API endpoints, new jobs. So everything is add-on, and it's all opt-in. You can configure, and these like API endpoints will not be exposed. The workers will not run these jobs because you can configure to have 0 of dynamic disk workers.
yeah. The only thing I have, like, for me personally is like, what Ruben also is said is like people are going to abuse it. I already know this. And they are going to force us to maintain stuff that was not your intention for this, but someone else thought it was the intention for this. So how can we narrow that a little bit? That's the only thing I'm afraid of. I'm not afraid of like a little bit more code complexity, but like more of how people are going to abuse it.
Yeah, like by default, like orchestrator needs to have access to that API. Like if you disable that API, if you set number of workers to 0, which is default, no one should have access to it, and no one should be able to use it.
Okay.
So I like that it's an opt-in feature, and we have some, like Ruben, you mentioned commercial supported opt-in features. So this is already something which, yeah, it is, yeah. You have people working, contributing from companies, and they need some features for their use cases.
True, but we also need to try to keep it as a minimal, but yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But yes, they could have also never made this PR and just fork us and never never look at us again, which is also annoying.
What
yeah.
we can do, we can have a detailed discussion in the foundation infrastructure working group, whether we can have architecturally have discuss different options which could make sense and maybe better. Like you mentioned, Ruben, with configs. Is it something which sounds reasonable, Maria, to have a discussion in the Foundation Infrastructure Working Group meeting this Thursday, just to discuss in detail all the implementation decisions which needs to be taken, so that we agree on trying to find something which fits better, overall.
Yeah, sure. I can try to defend my case why it's I think it's good to have API, but okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Aram is also there, also other people from the Bosch team with experience.
Yes, we did when we were planning for this feature. We discussed this with Bosch team, and yeah, this was what we came up with.
So I mean, we have this CF on kind RFC, which we think could be something for the future to be able to deploy Cloud Foundry on Kubernetes. I don't know how people will provision the Kubernetes then. It's a different story, but maybe there is some usage with combine it with that if we are able to deploy Cloud Foundry on Kubernetes. Yeah, maybe people can want to deploy Kubernetes with Bosch then, I don't know. But
Well, it was possible with releases back in the day, but everyone abandoned it.
The Kubo one, right?
Yeah.
This would make it simpler to deploy Kubernetes stuff.
People are complaining about Kubernetes enough already. Just
I know.
Bosch to the mix and
It can get easier with Bosch to manage Kubernetes. Yeah. Anything else, Chris or Stephan? Do you want to say something from your point of view?
I don't have strong opinions about it. I mean, if it's an addition that helps users, why not? But I can also understand the concerns by Ruben that it brings in a different
I
deployment
will make
mechanism,
a similar
especially
RFC to add some things to the cloud controller. It's just a few things that are being added to the cloud controller. It's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be fine.
Dynamic routes.
Dynamic routes or something.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let's discuss this on Thursday and try to iterate on it.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would recommend to at least explore not having an API, what that could look like from an MVP point of view for before that meeting, so we can have that as well as a
Mhm.
comparison.
Yeah, I will try to investigate the PR, see if I can understand it a little bit. So I have
There's an
Thank you.
anything to bring up on Thursday.
Just look at the RFC. That's the
I
thing
am
we're
I am doing
discussing.
it
The
now.
PR is just an
Yes,
implementation.
I
I
agree. I
know.
agree. Yeah, I think as long as we agree on RFC, yeah, we can change things in PR. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
All
for
right, I'm gonna go.
Okay,
Thank
see
you.
you.
Bye.
thank you for joining. Thank you, Maria.
Yes, thank you.
And we have another one, so I can put this in progress. Still discussion about the S3 cleanup. So Ramon found out that the S3 bucket, which is used for the build pack releases, is a little bit messy, but maybe you can.
Yeah, that build pack is like when the migration happened from in a previous RFC in July last year. They just dumped everything into one bucket and hoped for the best. And it works, yes, but it's like me when we were trying to migrate stuff and we're working on this pipelines. You need to have complex regex stuff to actually go through the whole bucket, which was annoying. And then I found out that there were like thousands of UID files, which were basically blobs related to the each build pack language release.
Yeah,
So
Bosch
Go
release,
build
right?
back release, etc. And then we also I found like, and then I have 770 unidentified orphan blobs, which are all 700 MB they're all the same size, and I have no idea what they are. So I want to namespace some stuff for at least the build packs Bosch releases. And then maybe in the possible future we can because now I think we can maybe better namespace because then not a lot of people are going to be annoyed. And the other option was like use a bucket name, each separate bucket for each build pack. It's also a bit overkill because there is only like.
Yeah, I think at the moment, build packs are in one area. Most probably some of the concerns here with it was
Yeah,
team
so
up.
I would put every related build. I have built that UID tool that we checked for HUI. I know HUID, which is related to which build pack, and I can just drop that in a map in a folder. And then the only thing what needs to be done is in each build pack, it needs to have like a folder name in it as well. And if they want to check out an older release and build from source, they need to only adjust the final YAML in the config to actually get that blob that was related to them.
Yeah, what we typically do is just use master or the latest of the check out the latest and then do Bosch upload release and point at an older release file, and that should work, right? Because then it takes the latest config.
Yeah, it's up to whoever uses it in a specific way, but it's easy to basically create an older release.
You are listing two options here.
Yeah, it was either have a specific dedicated bucket for each build pack or namespaced in the same build pack that is currently already in.
So I was thinking how to take the decision.
The only annoying thing I now think of is that like the whole build packs.cloudfoundry.org is all going through the CloudFront CDN. I don't know if it will contribute to more costs if we keep using everything in one build pack with a CloudFront CDN in front of that. I don't know what the costs of that are, so I have no idea. I'm just thinking of that right now.
I personally, I'm also fine with option one.
Okay.
If works. Looks like a smaller change compared and easier to manage. At the moment, the build packs are in the same area, having one bucket with folders.
Yeah, but I think you can have tokens or permissions that only allow you to access a certain path within a bucket, right?
Yes, but then are we going to make it really complex?
No, but like just have your
I'm not scared of that because it's all public anyways. So it's public down. Everything is public
it's about the
download.
right? Like which pipeline can access what. But it's all
Yes, but
running in the
that's
same
just
concourse
with
already, right?
yeah. We already have keys for that.
Yeah.
But that's only being able to access that. So everything in that pipeline, it's the same pipe. It's one.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It's one pipeline with several jobs. It's all using the same token because it's ridiculous to have that each token for each each thing. But yeah,
But if we want to, we can at a later point in time, right? Like
yes, no problem.
yeah, that can be
So
done with pods.
at
So
least
like
this is a small start of the cleanup. What I want to do in the end is basically have like extract a lot of stuff from the normal build packs repo. That build packs the build pack cloudfoundry.org bucket is basically only used for what it was intended only for like the dependencies for each releases. Like select the Tomcat, the JDKs, the Go versions, and that kind of stuff. Because that's what should only be used for anyway.
it's used to serve the online build pack assets, right? Online
Yes,
build
that
pack.
was the
And
whole
that's
point.
why
And
there's a CDN in front of it. And this should never have been like this. These are just normal Bosch releases, right? They can be in any bucket. There's no
yes,
CDN needed.
and now it's been a little bit of Frankenstein in one in one bucket. And that's why I wanted to have like I just thought I could do small changes so people get comfortable and we can.
Yeah. Does it make sense to like for the orphaned blobs that you identified, maybe move them into like a different place, like in
Yeah,
the same bucket? Maybe
I want to move them in an old like orphaned folder or whatever, and
yeah.
then
Or
if no one is complaining without 6 months or 3 months, I will just delete them.
yeah, have we captured that in the RFC? That the grace period?
No,
That would be something good to add because that's
okay,
good because then later we can say it's now deleted because of this.
yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
I also asked access for the CloudFront CDN, which is currently happening, and maybe they have some logging enabled that we could actually see if I can retrieve if those blobs ever are used in any way or form in the last month.
So We discussed the orphan period for the retention period for the orphan pops, and we'll go with option one or
Yes.
Mhm.
I think it would be good to have the RFC only have one option left then, right? Like,
yes,
maybe
that's why I want to somehow have an RFC which is
I will remove everything.
no, just the parts that we don't want.
Yeah. I will do that tomorrow.
okay. We don't
And
have.
once this is when will this be accepted so I can make those changes? I can run a script now.
But like, do we feel like we can start the final comment period, right? Like basically, because we
Yeah,
or not.
we can start. This.
Okay, I will update the RFC and yeah.
Yeah, we will start the final comment period, so that means we can next week accept it, right? Like if there's nobody else with concerns.
Okay.
There's this proposal to have a separate release candidates bucket. Should we include that directly? I think that makes sense. Because here you can have a retention period and delete much faster.
Good point.
If it's not really released.
Okay.
Okay. Then we are done with the RFCs. We don't have much time. I will skip the rest and go to any other business. So I saw in the CFCLI that there are activities to somehow remove deprecate V7. I was thinking how far we want to make this announce this removal or deprecation of V7.
But V7 has been deprecated for more than a year, if not
But now
longer.
it has been removed. It's deprecated. It has been removed. I don't know. Maybe people are following the. I don't know.
Okay.
And realistically, it doesn't matter what we do. The effect is the same at the end of the day. So we still see many people working with V6 just for fun. Yeah, you can write a mail to CFDev or by the CLI team, but I think the impact is.
I think like everybody using Cloud Foundry should have a pager so that we as a TOC can like send them codes, right? Like just for stuff like this. Otherwise you cannot use CF. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a couple of our folks got a little surprised by this. It was about a month ago. We had some UAA changes that we did, and clients couldn't log in anymore. And figured out it was they were using the V7 CLI. I distinctly remember looking out at that point, and it wasn't real obvious that the V7 CLI was deprecated, at least on the pages we were looking at. And I'm trying to find it again, and my brain's not working.
Yeah, one thing that would make sense is if we find the capacity somehow somewhere to overwork the documentation, because that one, doesn't look that good. It mentions old versions and from V6 to V7.
I think
maybe.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It kept mentioning the V6 to V7 deprecation, but nothing about 7 to 8.
Yeah.
This would be something maybe to ask Anita about.
That could.
Okay, I can ask. It's a good point that she.
I'm willing to bet her response is going to be there's no way for her to know that that feature was necessarily deprecated either, because I think she's looking to review grammar, but not necessarily the current state of all of the technologies that are documented. Because I think she's even noted in a couple other places like NSYNC and a couple other components that have been deprecated over time or renamed, because we love renaming things. That the documentation has gotten out of sync, and she doesn't necessarily know what those replacements are.
Yeah, so it would be good to have ideally the people that are, I mean, this is update documentation, but this is against the CFCLI. Ideally, also the documentation, the CF documentation would be updated.
Yeah.
I mean,
But Chris, how did they get the CLI? Did they use the repo or they used how did they retrieve it? So they were still on the old one. Was
Somebody's GitLab pipeline that I don't have access to, so I don't honestly know.
okay.
Because I was just like, I got a copy of their source code, I pushed the app, and it was just like, what the hell's the problem? And then it wasn't until we got onto theirs, and they're just like, what CLI are you using?
Okay.
Because Homebrew and GitLab doesn't always isn't a thing.
you install once and use it until it works.
Until it falls on the floor and we have to pick it back up again. Yes, we're a little short-staffed right now.
Okay, I will check with Anita regarding this, but things like that we can, when you notice something like that, we can just talk to
Yeah,
the
sorry, I should have shouted something louder at the time, but we were in the middle of getting yelled at by a customer.
Yeah. The other one, Cloudflare access. This was triggered by Ramon was asking me he wanted to check logs about how the build packs are accessed or used regarding this refactoring of the S3 buckets. I don't know whether TUC needs to have access to Cloudflare or in some situation maybe it's useful. I'm not so eager to have access everywhere.
Probably
Well,
like
at least someone should have. At least we should know who has access.
we know that Chris has access.
No, he
Clark.
responded to me that he had currently no.
Well, Chris Clark has no access.
Oh, I have access. I need like super admin permissions to add people to that. I just have like normal admin permissions. So anyway, I just requested Rudy give those to me. He's in the West Coast though, so I should have that for you.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
Yep.
So you have superhuman strength, but you need the cape in order to finish off the full. Okay, I'll go back and mute.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. I can transfer the last point to the next meeting. We are all time now.
Okay. Yeah, it was basically adjacent, right? It's like as TOC members, where should we have access, right? Sometimes you want to check something in a pipeline, and then you find out I cannot access build pack pipelines, right?
No, I wonder, how did you get access to the build pack pipeline?
Yeah, I don't know.
It was beyond automation, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found out I could just make myself a member temporary of a group, and then that was
Yeah, sure.
The solution. But yeah, I don't know. In
I was
general,
complaining on Stephan desks that I don't have, and we just
Yeah.
checking who has access.
yes.
But
Yeah, but like that, I think is a good segue into like we probably need to determine what things the TOC member should have access to, right? Because there's people will come to us with questions, and then we need to be able to look at these things.
Is someone willing to take this as an action item to do a proposal, and then we can continue from there discussing?
RFC style thing, probably.
Probably,
Like,
yeah.
It's the things outside of GitHub. Actually, Concourse is being controlled by GitHub, but yeah, things that probably fall within our realm and should probably be. Okay. Sure. I think I brought it up, right? So that means I'm the person creating the RSC.
That's how it works.
Yes, I know. Maybe Ramon can do it. He also
Nope.
talked.
Nope.
I was going to write Ramon.
Nice. Good timing.
I'm available for extra work after March again. Then it's like...
Yeah, contract based. Yeah. Nice.
Okay. I won't ask about any other topics. We don't have time. Yeah. Thank you for your time, and yeah, take care. See you next Tuesday.
Yep. See you.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy
Bye-bye.
your day, evening.